Hello fellow YouTubers and welcome. Today I'm looking at the F.Schultz, having looked at the GJ Merker, and well, you can see my thoughts on that. Bit like watching paint dry, quite a boring ship. I thought, yes, let's try the Schultz. Surely this ship will be better, right? Heading down the line towards the Elbing, which is really what I want. Let's face it, we all want an Elbing in our lives, don't we? Maybe? Don't know. The Z line was incredibly good. The Z52, the Z46, and the Z23. And if we look at that, the Z23, that was really fun. I enjoyed grinding those ships all the way up to the Z52. This one's been horrible. This one's been pretty bad too, actually, and you'll see in the next couple of battles that I'm going to show after this quick review of the build. Okay, let's see. What equipment did I go with? I went with Main Armors Modification 1. Then I went with Engine Boost Modification 1 to improve the engine boost up to 2.5 minutes of that. Aiming System Modification 1 in slot 3, because what's the point of putting an extra 5% on torpedoes that only do 50 knots? There you go, 50 knots, 12 kilometer range, 16,533 damage. Now, I would have hoped by now the Germans would have realized it might be a good idea to switch the Z-boat torpedoes for these, so that you can have the same torpedoes as the Z46, say, or the Z23. Hell, I would sacrifice this nonsense for Z23 torpedoes any day of the week. I mean, 50 knots, really? Sea mines, basically. Detectably range 1.2 kilometers, reload time 90 seconds, not so great. And then we go to propulsion modification 1 in slot 4, because we want to be able to accelerate out of trouble as fast as we can. And you will get into a lot of trouble with this huge target of a destroyer. I don't like to see her as a destroyer. She's more like a light cruiser with no citadel. Think of her in those terms. That's the play style, okay? You will not be capping with this ship. If you go near a cap in the early game, you might get away with it. If you go on cap in the early game, you'll probably be going back to port faster than you can say schnitzel, okay? Right, and in slot 5, Concealment System Modification 1, Detectability Shipping Range, minus 10%. What's that give us? 6.4 kilometer detect, which at tier 8 isn't that great. It means that basically almost every other destroyer out there, apart from the French ones, can spot you. Unless they're running some weird build before you spot them, which is another reason why you don't go on cap early game. Trust me, it's going to get you killed. Play it like a light cruiser. And then we go with Gunfire Control System Modification 2 in the final slot, because damn, we need that 16% range on the guns, because that only gives us 14.6 kilometers, which is reasonable. Okay, without it, we're stuck down at 12 kilometers. Very boring indeed, and you won't be doing much farming with those sort of ranges. The actual shell velocity is very good on these shells, 960 meters a second, and the arcs are quite flat, so pushing the gun range out is a really good idea. Now, because we've stuck with a 14-point captain, and I don't have a 21-point captain to just drop into this boat out of nowhere, we have to do this for now. Eventually, I will be swapping that out for Main Battery Modification 3, so you get the 12% deduction in the reload, which will bring the reload down to under, yes, let's not get too excited, under 7 seconds. Whoa, I know what you're thinking. Crazy, right? You can see the turret rotation is bad on these guns too, 19.6 kilometers. The HE is pretty low damage, 1800. 12% fire chance, 38mm armor pen, bouncing off 40mm hull plating, so not, you know, deck plating, not so great. You're going to mostly be farming ships with the AP, and those ships will mostly be cruisers and battleships. You might use the HE occasionally, but for the most part you'll be using the AP because it's very strong. Hit points wise, 28,750. Don't forget the guns are 150mm, so yeah, the AP does pack a punch, but 28,750 hit points, but no heals, so look out. Very important to not get yourself in a duel with an enemy gunboat. It really is. Now, you've got that armor that can protect you to a certain degree, but there are ships out there that can punch clean through it, and you are a big target. Okay, so if we look at this guy, this is the captain build. I've gone first 10 points this way, then I've taken Adrenaline Rush, so that's 13 points spent. After that, I got so annoyed with the turrets, I took Grease the Gears. as soon as you get to 18 points, grab main battery and AA expert to give you that 20% range, and swap out mod, let me see, mod 6 for the main battery modification 3, so you get better reload time. Then the last 3 points are your choice. You could improve that further, getting even closer to the 6-second mark on the reload time by reducing reload times by 5% and buffing the AEA while you're doing it. That would be a reasonable idea. So those two. You could, if you're fed up with the fact you keep running out of smoke every battle, you could get Superintendent, which will give you an extra smoke, extra defensive AA fire, and of course an extra speed boost. Okay, wouldn't blame you there. If you want to build into the guns more, you could spend 2 points on extra heavy ammunition to give the AP a slight fluff, and spend your last point on gun feeder to allow you to switch from the AP to the HE should you feel the need to set some fires. Or maybe even incoming fire alert if you decide you're going to open water gunboat. And you're a very brave soul if you do in this ship. She's huge. She's very easy to hit. So you're going to need to be on par. And don't forget that awkward turret arrangement on the hull with 3 turrets, meaning you're going to be showing a lot of broadside while you're open water gunboating. So anyway, those are your choices. Right. And with all of that said, let's take this ship for a spin. Okay, so the map's neighbors, and the ship is the Schultz, the F.Schultz. I'm not sure what the F stands for, but I'm beginning to realize, I think. Could the F stand for fucking awful? It's not Frederick Schultz, is it? Anyway, whatever. I digress. Yes, I'm in asymmetric battles because I thought to really get a feel for this ship, it would be better to play against bots because there's only got to be one half-assed decent enemy destroyer on the enemy team, and I'm fucked. I am literally fucked. The Schultz is not a DD versus DD engager. She really is not. And at tier 9, you will meet Darings, you will meet Mogadors, you will meet Klebers, and God knows what else. Hell, even Zorkies. Because of the wonderful random tier 9 matchmaker, which of course throws all sorts at you. It's very rare that you're top tier in this ship. What can I say that I haven't already said? I've pushed the guns out to 14.6 kilometers, you probably know that. She's got very strong AP, which I'm hoping to show off in this bot battle. Okay. I'm not expecting to get a big score here. I just want to show the capabilities of the ship, or not, as the case may be. The 50 kilometer, what am I talking about? 50 knot torpedoes. The 50 knot torpedoes that go 12 kilometers at 50 knots. 12 kilometer range at 50 knots. No matter how many times I say that, it doesn't make them great, right? The sea mines. Okay. So I've got an Editara with me, and I'm spotting for him and the Vallejo. And I have 3 smokes. I'm halfway through my speed boost. And the bots are coming to capture our cap. Okay. Now there's a Wami in this game who's going to steal all my frags. There's an Adatara that's also going to steal all my frags. And there's a Velos that is twice the DD this ship will ever be. Oh god, it's a Fiji. Okay. Now the Fiji is essentially a light cruiser. What I'm worried about is her incredible guns. So we're going to drop some incredibly slow torpedoes at her and start having a go with the 150s. And you can see, even on the nose, because that's a soft light cruiser hull, we managed to do almost 2k damage with 1 salvo. Okay, now we're up to 4k. So we're punching through the nose with the German AP. Oh, 3.5k that time. And already we've lost about 6k of our health. And this is against bots, right? But we're dishing out more than we're taking. 10,593 so far. I may have spoken too soon. Okay. So we've done a colossal 11,000 damage already. With lots of overpens and the occasional pen. Now I'm going to try and come around the side of this island. And what I'm going to try and do is citadel this guy. Because yes, you can citadel light cruisers with the AP on this ship. Hell, you can citadel cruisers with the AP on this ship. You've just got to hope they sail broadside to you. Of course, the bot has put his hydro on. Because, of course, he's very aware that I'm here. As would anybody. Do I get to... No, I don't. Okay. He's literally running away from me. So, the Nagato. Let's see how we do on the Nagato, okay? Now drop some torps. These are, of course, lower tier ships. So, weaker armor, right? 4 pens into the Nagato. 5k damage. If I drop a smoke, though, here's my immediate problem. You definitely need someone to spot for you in these German gunboats. And I don't have anyone, so I'm going to have to hope the Nagato fires at someone and gets himself lit for shooting. I can, however, have another go at the Fiji, I guess. Should be able to peck him down. If my team let me. 2 torpedo hits on the Nagato. Shocking. No, that's not going to happen. Ah, here he comes. Okay, now we should, because he fired, I guess, should be able to get some decent pens into his upper belt. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. Almost 5k there. 4 pens. Just over 5k there. And this is it. Another 4 pens and an overpen. This is how you farm. Upper belt. Another 4 pens, 2 overpens. Almost 6k damage that time. 4,773 with 3 overpens and 3 pens. The damage numbers are decent. The damage numbers are decent. In this ship's defense, the damage... Unless you get 6 overpens, of course. And look at those. He's doomed, clearly, because he's a bot. There's a very good chance I'm going to hit him with these 50-knot torpedoes. Look at the speed on those torps, right? Someone push the torps a little faster. And there we go. Clearly superior German torpedo technology in play there. Clearly the finest. I mean, why they didn't give them the same torpedoes as the Z-line? Okay, the Z-line, I suppose, is a torpedo line, right? And these are the gunboat line. Huh, did number on him, didn't we? But I don't see why they couldn't share the same torpedoes, albeit with maybe a longer cooldown between firing. So, or less torpedo tubes, right? And more guns. It's kind of sad that you've got these boats with the same amount of torpedo tubes, but some of the worst torpedoes in the game. It's like... Oh, dear God. Still, 4 torpedo hits against bots. Remember that. And you will always have bragging rights if you hit a normal player with these torpedoes. You will always get bragging rights. Can we get the Nagato? Oh, so close. So close. So, yeah. Ships are with hardly any health left. You can pick them off like a vulture. And you notice the dispersion on those shells at the longer ranges are actually very reasonable. Very reasonable indeed. It's very easy. These guns are very easy to use in the Schultz's defense. The F.Schultz's defense. Yeah, I mean, we know what the F stands for, don't we? We do, really. But seriously, though. So, I've been here, what, almost 8 minutes, and I've only managed to get about 97k damage down, and I've only got 17k health left. Okay, fine. Alright. But look at those nice flat arcs, okay? And the velocity on the shells is good. It's very, very easy to land these shells, even if I'm bouncing off Russian armor as we speak. He's not exactly flat broadside, though, is he? And we are aiming off the turrets. There you go, that's the upper belt right there. I've got 2 pens on the upper belt. Now we're cooking. Yeah, okay. Not the biggest numbers. I'd suggest maybe using the HE on Synops, but you get the idea. We got 9 pens in the end and 2 over pens. 11 non-pens and some ricochets though. Uh-oh. The angle was good as well. The angle was good. Okay, let's see if we can get the Bolognese. Should be able to shred this guy. Yep, okay. We kind of stole that from the Valeggio. But, yeah, okay. Okay, 110k damage now. Not the finest. I wouldn't particularly recommend using this ship to grind credits in this mode, or XP, but that's where we're at. In randoms, if the enemy team has a half-decent destroyer on their flank that's not from this German line, you're going to be in trouble. Treat her like a light cruiser. Do not go for the caps. Think of her as a light cruiser that can't be citadel. Sure, hang around the edge of caps, by all means. Wait for the enemy destroyer to make a mistake. That's the play. But don't try to detect him for your team and engage him and take him off a cap, because you'll be back in port questioning your life choices faster than you can say F.Schultz, right? Or what the F.Schultz? Oh my god. You see, that middle turret is a problem on this ship. You have to show quite a lot of broadside to get your shots off, and that's why open water gunboating in this ship is tricky. Not impossible, not impossible. If you're a skilled player like my good self, I'm sure you'll pull it off, but you are going to take some pain, regardless. And it all depends how much pain you're prepared to take, right? See if we can hit the nicer now. You see how flat the shell trajectories are, though? They don't serve you very well at these short-range shots because you can't get over islands in between. Even a low island like that, most of my shells were hitting the top of the island. However, on a nice target like this, in the open, you can smoke up and farm this guy. He's moving forward, isn't he? I thought he was reversing. There was just a little bit of white water off his bow to indicate that. And again, we're shooting into the infrastructure on that ship. The superstructure on the Colorado to show you what the AP is capable of, even at these angles. And not a lot is the answer. But then the HE isn't up to much either. Oh, and as soon as we get a little bit of angle, you can see 2.5k damage there. Another 2.5k damage there. Okay, now we're starting to hurt him. Okay, so this is the point at which you switch off the HE and switch to the AP, right? When the ship's just showing about 25 to 30 degrees of angle, you can start farming. All right. Okay. I feel like this ship is a slight step up from the Mecha. Because you can fit the range mod in slot 6. That's the thing. You get slot 6. That's what makes this ship better. But I made, what, 65,000 credits? I don't want to live. Yeah, so that's the Schultz for you. Okay, let's just... the map's Northern Waters, and this time it's a random battle in the F.Schultz. I know, am I nuts? You know, the worst thing about this is all live commentary, and it's terrifying. I mean, I have no idea how this battle is going to go whatsoever. Not a clue. I've got a U-190 right in front of me, who's basically my eyes and ears. He can scout better than I can. We're up against a Jaeger, oh god, and a Kirikaze. Oh no. I say oh god because the Jaeger is a bit of a ghost ninja with very fast torpedoes. If he wants me dead, guess what? That's not a lot I can do about it. The Kirikaze, similar creature, except he's a gunboat, not a torpedo boat. He's nasty guns, better spot than me. He's at about 6.1, I'm at 6.4. Yeah, I guess we could engage a Kitakaze if we get the jump, but we will end up having to smoke and disengage at some point, no doubt. We have better armor than him, a good health pool. Yeah, there's a chance, right? There's a chance. But if he focuses on us first, it's drop a smoke and run time, basically. And what's going on with the enemy carrier? He's sending those torpedo bombers straight at me, isn't he? Okay. Well, I'm reporting you for the fact that I just messed up and left my AA on. He plays poorly, clearly. And yeah, blacklisted, sir. I'm not having that. You know what? I've got a theory, right? I'll unblacklist him if I'm wrong, but this theory is that those torpedo bombers are now going to head all the way over to light me, even though he's got a juicy Rook and a juicy Los Andes to torpedo there. Yep, he's coming straight after me. So we're just going to back off. Do you get the impression I don't like CV players? Do you get that impression? The only time I like CVs is if I'm in a Nakamov trolling people, and I don't do that very often because I'm a fairly nice guy. I mean, most people on here will tell you I'm a fairly mild-mannered janitor. I have the odd toxic match, but it's rare. Okay, and yes, I'm reporting our carrier because basically, and yes, you can go on my blacklist as well, no support on the flank whatsoever. I mean, if I was in my carrier right now, I know straight away that the Schultz has got a spotting problem, okay? And I would literally be sending my planes just to light the ACAP for my Schultz. Clearly, the Schultz needs help. The Jaeger doesn't need help. The guy on the right flank on my mini-map, he doesn't need help. He's a great spotter. So he's spotting for the Jaeger, and he's leaving the ship that doesn't spot enemy destroyers and subs very well at all to his own devices, namely me. You're just going to end up on my blacklist every time doing that. I haven't got time for people like you. Just go away. Can we get a Citadel? Can we get a juicy Citadel? Yes, we can! Okay, so we got 7,310 damage with one salvo on that cruiser. You see? And now this is another problem with the Schultz. She's great at taking on cruisers. Now the problem is, what's the meta? Mostly battleships. Mostly battleships. Not many people play cruisers because they tend to get dev struck out of the game early. So, fortunately, we have enough pen to hurt battleships as well. But you can see we're making a nasty mess of this. Thanks for that, Rook. I wanted to finish him off for my video. I'm trying to make a decent video here, and you oh, for God's sake. Okay, did anyone spot the submarine, by the way? Because there's a sub right there. Problem is, I can't do anything about that submarine. I'd like to, but if I go over there to do anything about it, I'll get lit, and then the North Carolina and the Lion and the Kearsarge will basically nuke me. You notice they prioritize me every time they see me. And that's because the Schultz, the F.Schultz, the fucking Schultz, is big. You're really easy to hit. There's a submarine. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to risk it. I've got an island between me and those battleships, so I'm going to risk it. Now, you would think that punching holes in the side of a submarine with IAP would make it really hard for him to do anything other than just sink, right? But Wargaming, in their wisdom, infinite wisdom, have decided that AP shells don't do much damage to submarines, okay? So you're better off spamming HE. That makes no sense to me. And here comes the Lexington again. And the Kearsarge. Double prizes. Now I can show off the incredible AA of this ship. Sub-torps just flew by. And I'm shooting planes down. Not very many, but I've shot a few down. There we go. There goes another one. And another. Not that that means anything anymore. In the old days, you used to be able to empty an aircraft carrier's deck of planes if you AA'd the crap out of them. And then he wouldn't be able to launch his favorite planes for quite a while. But of course, that was a really good game balancing feature, so they removed it. kind of a shame. So it doesn't really matter if you can shoot planes down anymore. Because carriers will always have planes. Can't empty the decks on them. Okay, I'm firing at the Lion. Nose on, 4 overpens. Hilarious, right? There go my 50-knot torpedoes. Okay, 15.91. And straight away the Carolina's firing on me. Does me 5k damage in return. And the second I turn away, I've only got 1 turret on the target now. Because I have to show so much broadside to actually get all 6 150mm rifles on target. So I am now disengaging. I'm just going to disengage. I want them to forget about me for a while because they haven't stopped firing at me. Here comes another volley from the Kearsarge. They're taking me way too seriously. If you find that the people are taking you too seriously, just disengage. Just disengage and run. We've lost this side. I don't know what the Uganda's doing. He's going to get himself killed. I think he's hunting that submarine. The salmon. He needs to join me. He needs to retreat. Use his crawling smoke and get out of there. I'll cover his retreat with my incredible torpedoes. Yeah, right. And we're heading for B. I don't think my team's going to like this, but I am not capable of taking on 3 battleships on my own. And that Uganda could spot for me for a while if he wasn't in smoke and so close to the enemy fleet, right? But he's just going to get himself sunk. And most cruisers don't see themselves as spotters for DDs, right? And this is another problem the Schultz falls into. You need people to spot for you. And since our carrier has no interest in this flank whatsoever, I am forced to flee. Okay, 3 pens, 3 overpens. I do like the guns though. I think the guns are really nice. I just wish they came in a slightly stronger package. You know what would make this ship a little bit more comfortable to play? Heals. We could do with some heals wargaming. Give the Schultz and the Merker, the Schultz and the... maybe not El Bing Bong, I hear she's strong enough, but maybe give the first 2 in the chain some heals. Some healing would be nice. Or, if you don't want to do that, give us the same torpedoes as are on the Z boats, alright? Just make them on a longer cooldown. Less launches, something like that. Say maybe 3 and 3 instead of 4 and 4, and I don't know, instead of 90-second cooldown, 120. There you go, fixed it. I fixed the Schultz, everyone. And then at least you'd have torpedoes that are doing 66 knots or 69 knots, wouldn't you? Yeah. That you can actually do something with. I am literally just sitting on the corner covering the Uganda's retreat and hoping to get some more damage down on the Lion, but not going to happen. He's lit by the enemy carrier and he's not long for this world. So I'm going to move to B. I'm getting out. Jaeger over there. The carrier kept him lit. If a carrier had taken more concern of this flank, I'd have had a better match. And that's why I don't like carrier matches, because you know straight away if you're an intelligent guy or girl that if the carrier is with you, you're going to have a more comfortable experience. If the carrier isn't with you spotting targets, you're going to have a tough old time. I mean, I could kill that Jaeger for the team very easily with these 150mm guns, but I need someone to light him. And the best person to light him right now is the carrier. And yeah, Malfi, you're seeing a Schultz running away with his tail between his legs. And for good reason, if you can see what's chasing me. I can't believe how slow the North Carolina and the Lion have been, though. There's the Jaeger. Now I've got to watch out for Jaeger torps, because there's a good chance he sent a load of torps my way. And yeah, Malfi's smoking and breaking off, so he's got the same... He's having the same thoughts as I am. Basically, we're being pushed by battleships, so... Okay, I'm gonna have a... Should be able to get some decent damage down on the nice, soft Lion. Or Leon. Yeah, the Lion. Yeah. Managed to avoid the Jaeger torps, which is good. That's a submarine torp. Our submarine's still alive, isn't he? Great. So the poor Uganda risked his very soul to take that guy out, and he's still going. Still, the Uganda managed to extract, which is a miracle in itself, right? Using his crawling smoke. Okay, here come the Jaeger torps. I found a gap. Ooh, that was close. Now, this is another thing you've got to do. When you're smoke farming, like I am in the Schultz, where are the enemy torpedoes going to come from? If you know what direction they're going to come from, you can angle appropriately. And I knew they were going to come from the gap between the islands, so I made sure I was in line with the... had my arse in line with the islands, so that I could dodge them easier, should they come my way. You don't want to be caught broadside on to torpedoes, really, ideally, especially not in this boat. Turns like a cruiser. It's got the rudder shift of a cruiser, turning circle of a cruiser. Just shooting down some more planes. Or not. Okay. There's a salmon. He's not surface. Okay. And I'm basically just using this island for cover. Now again, the reason why I'm not, one of the main reasons I'm not pushing anywhere near to those battleships is because if that submarine lights me, I'm going to get basically shot to shit. So that's the main reason. Okay, they're Brandenburg. Why is it Brandenburg at A4? There's the Lexington. He's moving down the map. He's running out of space. Our Jaeger's got him lit. Good. I think we can win this. I think we can win this. We've got control of 2 caps. They've got to push up. If they want to win this, they're going to have to destroy the ships between me and B. And they're pushing south at the moment. Tracking south, which is kind of weird. Okay, we just lost our Amalfi, but the Uganda took out the salmon. Yay! He did it! He did it! Our anti-submarine warfare cruiser just sunk a submarine. Oh yeah! A rare sight indeed. I guess we smoke up here and farm the Kearsarge. I guess. Brandenburg just took out our Federgross. We're getting some nice numbers into the side of the Kearsarge. This is good. 7 overpens, 5 pens. I mean, the AP is very good. Okay. But you see, I have to remain pretty flat to get the shells off. Always bear that in mind with this boat. And I've just used my last smoke. Four pens, 1 overpen on the NC. And I've sent the slowest torpedoes in again. Slow those torpedoes, oh my god. I'm literally just putting them out to block the corner of the island in case they decide to push bows on through. And that's what the North Carolina has decided to do. He should be able to avoid those torps very easily. I'm switching targets to the Lion because he's shown more broadside. And we win the game. Which is a shame, because I think if this match had gone a little longer, I think we would have broken 100k. So, pretty boring playstyle, right? But your options are somewhat limited with this ship. So, this has been the first go F.Schultz review. If you can free research through this line to get the Elbing, please do. It's my advice, please do. But if you want to learn about the Elbing playstyle, these two ships, the Merker and the Schultz, will definitely show you how to play Elbing. But yeah, that was painful. That's all AP damage. All AP damage. I didn't hit with one torpedo, did I? Great. 20k to plane, sir. Yeah. 6 warships damaged me. Yeah, they were focusing me whenever they had a chance, the little beggars. Okay, and with the 20% on, I made 136,937 credits. Not exactly great. Okay, my name is Lone Gun, and this has been the F.Schultz review. Thank you all very much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, found it informative, don't forget to chuck me a like and subscribe. Thank you all for watching.